World War II by Florencia Sánchez of Junior D. World War II was the biggest and hardest war in the world, and it started on September the 1st of 1939, when the Nazis invaded Poland, and 2 days later the United Kingdom and France declared war on Germany, fearing Hitler could have invaded the rest of Europe. But why did this war begin initially? Well, it all started at the end of the World War I, when Germany was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles, a document that blamed Germany for starting the war and imposed penalties like the loss of territory and demilitarization of the country. That agreement caused the desire of a leader who could bring around the nationalistic feeling, and the perfect man for that job was Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party, with supremacist, racist, and anti-Semitic ideology. In 1932, Hitler won the elections in Germany, and a year later he became Chancellor of the country, swiftly acquiring more power. In 1934, Hitler named himself as Führer, supreme leader of the nation, and imposed a totalitarian regime. He forbade the Communist Party, and the Jewish persecution began. He also violated the Treaty of Versailles with the creation of a military state. In 1936, Germany signed a pact with Japan, and 3 years later Italy joined them, forming the Axis powers. On the other hand, there were the Allies, conformed by the United Kingdom, France, the United States, and subsequently the Soviet Union. In 1938, Hitler carried through the territorial expansion policy when he annexed Austria and Czechoslovakia. A year later, in 1939, Germany signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a non-aggression agreement between Germany and the Soviet Union, and after that, both invaded Poland. Then, the United Kingdom and France declared war on Germany as a consequence of it. In 1940, the Nazis simultaneously invaded Norway and Denmark, and later attacked Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, and France. They had passed through the Ardennes forest, where the Allies had been waiting for them. The Allies thought the Nazis couldn't get through the forest, but they were wrong. The German tanks advanced, so the Allies' troops were evacuated by sea from Dunkirk. Lately, Germans invaded Bulgaria and Libya. In September of the same year, the Nazis bombed for months the most important cities of England. Nevertheless, British soldiers had resisted and defeated the German Air Force in the Battle of Britain. In 1941, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria had joined the Axis, and the Nazi army encroached Greece, Egypt, and Yugoslavia. Meanwhile, the Jewish people were being tortured, forced to do heavy labor, and exterminated in different concentration camps located in Poland. More than 6 million Jews were killed in those camps. Afterwards, on June 22nd of 1941, Hitler broke the Non-Aggression Pact and ordered the Operation Barbarossa, where the Germans and Axis troops invaded the Soviet Union. In a month, the Nazis advanced rapidly. They captured the other half of Poland and Belarus. Besides, they were taking millions of Soviet soldiers as prisoners, but Hitler wanted to get to Moscow. The problem was the harsh winter weather that stopped them. Also, the Soviets defended their territory, so there was carried out the bloodiest battle of humanity, the Battle of Stalingrad. After that, the Germans moved backwards and gave up in January of 1943. On the other side of the world, the Japanese Empire was expanding its territory too, and in December of 1941, they attacked the major US naval base at Pearl Harbor. That event caused the entrance of the United States into the war. Then, Germany and Italy declared war on the US. In 1942, a naval battle between Japan and the US broke out, and despite the power of the Japanese forces, the US won the Battle of Midway and gained advantage over the Pacific Ocean. A year later, the Allies had invaded Italy, and Mussolini's government fell. The Allies had fought against the Germans that still remained, though. In 1944, the Allies planned an invasion to liberate Western Europe. So American, Canadian, and British troops arrived on the coast of Normandy on June 6. The famous D-Day had arrived, and by August, all the northern France had been liberated. On the other side, the Soviet troops had advanced into Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Czechoslovakia. They had founded the extermination camps and helped the Jews get out of the horrible place. In May of 1945, the Nazis surrendered, after Hitler died by suicide a month before. Finally, in August of the same year, the United States feared a new attack from Japan, so they decided to drop 2 atomic bombs, one in Hiroshima and the other in Nagasaki. After that, Japan surrendered immediately and the war ended.